It's the crossover event set to shake the absolute universe to its core as the Princess of Hell Diana travels to the shadowy streets of Gotham City to come face to face with its muscle-bound protector, the man known as Batman. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Absolute Wonder Woman issue number 15 and find out together, shall we? Alrighty then, so right off the bat, no pun intended, this issue actually does a great job building on the groundwork set during the events of the Absolute Evil storyline. You'll remember in that issue, all the major bad guys who have been benefiting from how deeply messed up the Absolute Universe is all decided to team up and work together, dubbing themselves the Justice League. Well, as this issue begins, we see Veronica Cale, Wonder Woman's arch nemesis, though I'm pretty sure Wonder Woman herself doesn't know that yet, having a conference call with Jack Grimm, the man we all now know is the Joker. Together, they're collaborating on a little plot that they hope will manage to take down both their enemies at once. And not a moment too soon either, as it seems as we enter the holiday season, the actual reach and celebrity of this brand new generation of superheroes is only growing. You know, they're like the K-pop Demon Hunters. They came out of nowhere, were a surprise success, and honestly, I'm just shocked that they had so much merch out in time for Christmas, but I digress. Over in Gotham City, we see Wonder Woman is actually the one making the first move in an attempt to introduce herself to Batman. She does this by using her magic powers to create a big green bat signal in the sky, and hey, it doesn't matter what universe we're in, Batman just simply cannot ignore the siren call of a good bat signal. Another thing you'll also probably notice right away is that the art team on this issue has decided to really do some fascinating work with the panels. They all intersect, creating these really interesting new shapes and images, in some cases even doing a little bit of storytelling on their own. This artistic ethos also extends to how Batman himself is drawn in the Wonder Woman book. As you'll notice, his costume has a bunch of very intricate designs all over it, basically a little maze in and of itself. It's such a small thing, but it's so freaking cool, and I'm so happy to see the creative team on this one go above and beyond for our first big absolute crossover, which, speaking of, how do Batman and Wonder Woman get along? Well, maybe not in the way you would be expecting. For one, they are both very aware of one another, and surprisingly, each thought the other was a god. You might also be thinking, oh, is this Batman going to be really aggro and aggressive like he's sometimes shown in the main universe? No, actually, he's quite taken with Diana, as well as seems to be deeply fascinated at the concept of magic, even though he can't quite get his own head around it. You know, the more things change, the more they stay the same, right? Wonder Woman is pretty impressed too at Batman, not just his big detective brain, but also the fact that he does all of this, throws himself off massive rooftops while being just a mortal man. So yeah, what we basically have here is man of science, woman of magic decide to join forces to solve a series of mysterious murders that have held Gotham in its grasp. As you'll recall in the last issue, there's been 4 murders in Gotham City. The only thing all tying them together is a bloody drawing of the Hecate, Wonder Woman symbol that's on her arm. Sprawled on the nearby wall, this is almost certainly a trap, but Wonder Woman can't leave it alone, and as such, her and Batman join forces to get to the bottom of it. If they're going to be working together too, Wonder Woman decides that she should probably give Batman a gift, a magic talisman that, when touched, will give Batman an audience with her. Keep this in mind because it's going to be very important later on. Our hero's first port of call turns out to be a place that will be very familiar. If you know your DC lore, of course, I'm talking about the Slaughter Swamp, the cursed patch of land that gave birth to Solomon Grundy. Though no Grundy in this story, Diana proves right away that she's quite the detective herself when her and Batman look over the crime scene. This was clearly the work of witches, but rank amateurs. They didn't light enough candles, didn't wait for the proper placement of the moon as to honor Hecate. However, that's still not to say their ritual still won't end up working. Diana clocks it right away. It seems that all of the dead people were used to harvest organs, used in the creation of a golem, which of course could be a powerful weapon in the wrong hands. Together, Batman and Wonder Woman follow the trail of clues to an old church where a dark rite is already in process. In fact, hey, look at the symbol on the back of those witches. Doesn't that kind of look like an Omega symbol? Isn't it funny how that symbol keeps coming back? Batman jumps into action first, which proves to be the wrong course of action, as he and Wonder Woman both end up getting magically held in place. It seems that Veronica Cale and Jack Grimm had planned just right for this eventuality. Here's the thing though, the witches aren't actually trying to create a golem. Oh no, they're trying to take control of a golem. But where's the golem, you might be wondering? Well, in front of us this whole time, because hey, Wonder Woman, you were created out of clay, right? Meaning that for all intents and purposes, you are actually a golem. Yes, that's right, this was Kale and Grimm's plan all along, get Wonder Woman and Batman together and then have them kill each other. A mind-controlled Wonder Woman ends up knocking poor Batman around the church like a rag doll. The Dark Knight puts up a valiant effort, but by the time Wonder Woman manages to steal his own battle axe away from him, it's made abundantly clear that he's not going to win this fight. Well, not physically, at least. Once again, Batman proves that his mind is deadlier than just about any magic on the block, as he uses the talisman that Diana had given him earlier to demand an audience with the Princess of Hell right then and there, in doing so breaking the mind control. Wonder Woman is of course happy to be free and that she didn't kill her new friend, but at the same time she is understandably horrified that someone stole enough of her hair and blood to pull off such a crazy and creative attack against her. This is certainly something she's going to have to plan against in the future. Before either of the heroes can dig any deeper though into what's going on, the church they're in ends up blowing up. Apparently this was part of Jack Grimm's bigger scheme to direct Veronica Cale into the right direction and then eventually hijack her plan himself. Because, you know, just because the villains are working together doesn't necessarily mean they like each other or that they're any less villains. And you know what? I appreciate that this is just as much a crossover team-up for them as it is for the heroes. Batman and Wonder Woman manage to escape the church and bask in the afterglow of their victory. In fact, it even starts snowing. A thing that Wonder Woman has never actually seen in all of her life up until now, making this a very special one-of-a-kind moment that she is now sharing with her new friend Batman. The snow is also meant as a bridge between these two heroes' ideology. Yes, the snow can be explained scientifically, but it also carries with it a sort of magic, especially at this time of year. Wonder Woman says that she hopes that this will be the beginning of a long, fruitful relationship between her and Batman, but that maybe they should look to expand their ranks too. There is that Superman fellow they both know about, and more still. Wonder Woman has a jump drive that she got from a government scientist that she rescued from the maze. It's also how she already knows that Batman is none other than Bruce Wayne, though she hoped that he would feel comfortable enough to share that information with her. Which is actually a nice callback to the whole power of name stuff from the first issue, as well as a very wholesome and upbeat note to end the book on. And so that was Absolute Wonder Woman issue number 15, everybody. I know a lot of people going into this book were obviously very excited, and there was a lot of extra pressure on this story because it is the first big Absolute crossover. And I'm very happy to say Kelly Thompson and company ended up knocking this one out of the park and then some. It's fun, it's exciting, it's a very different take on this sort of first ever crossover. They very easily could have done World's Finest with Batman and Superman teaming up first, but the fact that they decided to go with Batman and Wonder Woman first, I think says a lot about how they really want this Absolute universe to be different and to continue to have surprises as the line moves on. The art, as I mentioned, is killer, specifically the panel placement, which is unlike anything else I've read this year. Bruce and Diana's dynamic is really solid here. I appreciate how they kept finding new ways to reveal hidden depths about each other. The ending too is also really sweet, something I don't say much about these Absolute stories, as they are so often characterized by the crushing dystopia of the world they take place in, but hey, maybe that's the whole point of it when two heroes get together. Despite the darker and corrupted nature of this universe, they actually do end up bringing a lot more light in than they would on their own. Overall, I would give this one a very well-deserved 9.5 out of 10. It works as a part of the bigger Absolute Wonder Woman storyline that's being told, but it also works wonderfully as a standalone too, meaning that if you're not reading Absolute Wonder Woman, you could read and enjoy this too. But you really should be reading Absolute Wonder Woman, though. You'd be cheating yourself if you weren't. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow, and help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.